Welcome here to TalkFCB, and well, what do we have here? It's the Champions League, and it is an absolutely crazy result coming from Madrid, because they took on Shakhtar tonight, and it was going to be an easy game on paper. It looked absolutely certain that Real Madrid would come into this game after they lost against Cadiz, newly promoted side on the weekend in La Liga. This was the perfect game to get them back on track. Shakhtar, coming into this game, were not only massive underdogs already, but given what's happened over the past few days with them, they have 10 players out, either due to COVID or injury concerns, and they were depleted. Their team right now was absolutely decimated by these COVID absences. Their goalkeeper tonight was just 19 years old. He only played a handful of games for Shakhtar, but here we are, and this is football. Shakhtar 3, Real Madrid 2. It was 3-0 at half-time, and ahead of El Clasico. This is chaos! Which is why, ahead of that game indeed, we are always going to be on the lookout for some analysis on our opponents. And where better to start than this game right here? And what went wrong? Dreadfully wrong tonight for Real Madrid. Because let's start first of all with their starting lineup, and that was certainly the root of their problems in what was one of the worst first half performances I think I've ever seen from a Real Madrid team. Yes, like we said last night with Barcelona, we also started the game very, very flat against Ferencváros, and it was an eerie atmosphere inside the stadium, and it was the same out there tonight for Real Madrid. But you look at some of those players out there, and there was just no effort, no desire whatsoever. It was absolutely shambolic. Courtois started in goal, Marcelo was at left back. It was actually Mondi there out towards the right. Militao at centre-back alongside Varane, and I'm still not convinced whatsoever about Eder Militao, brought in for big money there from Porto. I haven't seen any evidence so far that he's going to live up to that price tag. In midfield, it was Casemiro, Modric and Valverde, which on paper looks like a good enough midfield for Real, but they were woeful. Absolutely awful in midfield. Real Madrid couldn't move the ball well enough at all. And then in attack, it was Asensio, Rodrigo, who didn't do much at all, and probably the biggest underperformer, not just in this game, but over many, many games now in his Real Madrid career, it's Luka Modric. And I know that Barcelona, over the last few seasons, we've held our hands up and said we've made some absolutely woeful signings, and we have, there's no getting away from that. But I just look at Real Madrid right now, and the money they spent there on Luka Modric, he's given them nothing. Not only is he poor on the pitch, he also gets into a lot of controversy off the field too, and I felt again tonight, he was just never ever looking effective or good in front of goal, and he's simply not worked out for Zinedine Zidane's side so far. And Shakhtar, to be fair, let's not take anything away from them here. No matter how poor Real Madrid were, they were coming into this game, like I say, massively on the back foot. They had so many disadvantages going against them, but still, they were outstanding. They've always been such a good club for developing young talents, particularly their young Brazilian players. And Tete, what a young player he is. 20 years old, he terrorised Real Madrid in that first half down the right-hand side. He was all over them, ripping them to shreds. He opened the scoring there after half an hour, and 4 minutes later, they had another goal too. It goes down in the end as a Varane own goal, but once again, it was really good build-up play from Shakhtar, and they were so effective there about cutting Real Madrid apart and really decimating that centre of their defence. And just before half-time, just when you thought, surely this couldn't get any more unbelievable, you know what? It just about did, because Shakhtar Donetsk went 3 up at half-time against Real Madrid, and again it was that man, Tete, at the heart of it. Electrifying pace, brilliant movement there in behind the Real Madrid defence, which is something that happened right throughout the game. This time he sets up his fellow teammate Solomon, who's bursting in there, brilliant little back heel into him, and it's a really composed finish, and it was incredible. You were just sitting there thinking, how is this happening? Real Madrid, the great Real Madrid, with all of their prestige, with all their experience in this competition, and you just imagine what Zinedine Zidane must have been saying at halftime. He must have been absolutely raging at these players who gave him nothing, and it was a real upset on the cards. But, as you also know from experience with Real Madrid in this competition, 3-0 at half-time meant very, very little. They're a team that, as we know, are very much capable of forcing a comeback, of making something out of a game when it looks like there's no chance at all. And in the second half, they came out with a few changes. Zidane at half-time changed Benzema there, coming on for Rodrigo. At first, he went with Benzema and Jovic up front as a duo, but that didn't last long. Just 10 minutes into the second half, Jovic there was substituted for Vinicius Jr., Jr. before Toni Kroos came on for Modric. Those are the only 3 subs that Zidane used. And in the 54th minute, Real did get a goal. But even to score that goal, it had to be a wonder strike. It had to be an absolute golazzo from Luka Modric, and it was. What a goal it was. On his right foot there, bends it in the top corner. Goalkeeper doesn't even move. Great strike from him. And just 5 minutes later, seconds after coming on, Vinicius punishes Shakhtar there. They're trying to play it out the back. Too carefree, too careless in possession, and it's a good finish there to get Real Madrid very much so back in the game. And at 3-2, we're all sat there thinking, it's inevitable now. Real Madrid, they're going to come back. Probably not even to draw, probably to win this game. But it didn't quite happen. I felt as though Real Madrid there lost a bit of spark. They came out at the start of the second half with a lot of intensity, a lot of will there to go and press Shakhtar high. But again, the complacency seemed to set in when they got themselves back in it. They didn't really keep their foot on the gas. They didn't really keep pushing there to get that equalising goal. And I have to say as well, Shakhtar in that second half, they had their chances. They could have gone further ahead again. They had chances for a 4th goal. Courtois made some good saves to keep Real in the game. And just when it looked as though Shakhtar were going to get over the line, they were going to secure that such an important win for them in this group, Fede Valverde has a strike there from the edge of the box. We're into injury time, and it goes in. It looks like a really bad mistake from the goalkeeper, who should be gathering that. It actually there goes through him into the net. It trickles over the line, and Real Madrid think they've done enough to get a point. However, when you watch the replay, Vinicius Jr. is stood directly, and I mean directly, immediately there in front of the goalkeeper. He can't see. He's clearly involved in play. He's clearly in an offside position, and after consulting VAR, after having a look at the screen, the referee decided the goal should be disallowed, and Shakhtar take all 3 points ahead of El Clasico. Real Madrid have lost. And of course, after losing to newly promoted Cadiz, this defeat for Real Madrid is not going to do them any favours in terms of confidence, and the pressure is going to be well and truly ramped up on Zinedine Zidane. There's no getting away from that whatsoever. What I would say though to Barcelona fans, for all of us right now who are getting excited, this always happens when Barca win, we're excited. When Real Madrid got points, we're looking there to capitalise on what they've done, especially looking ahead of the weekend. We want to try and beat them now while they're down. But at the same time, when you're looking at El Clasico, this result here means nothing. It doesn't mean anything. Real losing to Shakhtar doesn't mean now we're automatically going to go and beat them on Saturday. The Clasico matches simply don't work in that way. The form book, it goes out the window. You can't explain the science behind what happens in Clasicos. So for that reason, guys, whilst we can be excited, whilst we can be encouraged by some of the defending that we saw out here tonight from Real Madrid, we still have to arrive on Saturday with all of our effort, with all of our preparation, and prepare for what is going to be a very tough game. And finally, guys, before the end of the video, moving just away from football here, I want to give out a really important message that I have wanted to do now for several days. I want to appeal here to all of my Nigerian viewers, and I want to give out to you guys enormous strength, enormous love. I really want to reach out and say I hope that you're all doing okay. I hope you're all doing well. I know that right now in your country, the scenes that we're all seeing, and I know many of us on social media, we've been made aware of what's happening in your country, and I honestly can say it is so sad to see. It's something that should come to an end. It's not something that should be happening to anybody in any walk of life, and it is an absolute disgrace. And all that I can hope, and all that we all hope, is that it comes to an end very soon. And like I say, all of my thoughts and all of my wishes are very much with you right now. And of course, guys, when it comes to the football, when it comes to El Clasico, there'll be plenty more coming up on the channel, both here and on MORETALKFCB. All of the preparation, all of the build-up, it's coming very soon for what's going to be a huge clash at the weekend. I'll see you then. Leave your thoughts in the comments down below on what you thought of Real Madrid tonight, and I'll see you very soon. But until next time, as always, guys, Visca El Barça.